Shawn Ryan show and Dior bag update. This one's going to be long, so here's a table of contents. Disclaimer, TikTok. This is for entertainment purposes only, and it only reflects my opinion. Let's dive in. You're probably wondering what the heck is going on in this video. I'm going to try to explain it to you. Let's start with the Shawn Ryan podcast and what just happened. Shawn, a former Navy SEAL and ex-CIA agent, has a podcast called The Shawn Ryan Show, where he invites people from all walks of life to come on and talk on a show. Recently, he had an intelligence officer by the last name of Shoemate come on his show and reveal an email that was given to him by this said Green Beret, who goes by the last name of Livelsberger, now famously known for the vehicle-borne improvised explosive at Trump Tower. In his email, it basically explains how these drones are coming from a Chinese sub parked off the Atlantic coast and releasing anti-gravity powered drones that are unstoppable from China, and that it's a show of force, as well as a particular incident that happened in 2019 that alleges war crimes. Mr. Livelsberger also had a manifesto that basically says that we are under the control of weak leadership and that we essentially need to start a civil war to get the Democrats out of office and get other good people into office through the means of force. Don't take anything in the email or in the manifesto as fact, and try to realize that there is some degree of sensationalism going on. Deep diving into this brings many questions to the table. Could this just be a case of TBI, given his service as a Green Beret? Is anything he mentioned about China actually verifiable? It went from Iran to China to nuke sniffing to hobbyist drones. Now it's back to China. Why? If this is about Armageddon, why did he not deliberate far more information on that subject and rather focus more of his energy on the incident that happened in 2019 alleging war crimes? If he really worked around that technology, why wasn't he far more specific about that technology, as that would be the much more pressing matter? Is this just a big farce to distract us from the orbs? Is this an effort to just make us so scared that we lock ourselves away again and we just stop looking up altogether? How many pieces of corroborating evidence is there that indicates that he actually did work in unacknowledged special access programs? Why is the main focus on the incident that happened in 2019 and not Armageddon? What kind of political effect would this have, if any? What are some potential outside factors that may have caused this behavior, i.e., his wife cheating, divorce, family member passing, job loss, etc.? And why does Mr. Shoemate seem kind of suspicious? Why does Mr. Shoemate also repeat over and over again that Teslas can somehow drive themselves autonomously in a way that they actually can't? Why are we dropping everything and going with this random Green Beret after dropping everything and going with some random drone CEO expert? This Green Beret obviously knew how to make something sensational. Could it be that he was using Armageddon and the drones as a suitable means to get his message across and viral? Why do Shawn and Mr. Shoemate focus more on TAs and smuggle weapons over Armageddon and anti-gravity technology? Does all of this take attention away from the orbs? Does this somehow fit the military-industrial complex's lust for war? Is or was Mr. Livelsberger a CIA operative who was meant to cause mass hysteria and distract us away from NHI disclosure and bring us back to a fabricated reality? I'm saying NHI, which means non-human intelligence. If these are China's anti-gravity drones, why do they seemingly have propellers? If this has been happening for years, how is it that nobody has seen it? This is just my opinion, but these questions all seem to make me believe that this guy was just kind of upset with something going on in his life and he wanted to make a scene to get his message across in the most sensational way he possibly could. When it comes to the drones, I personally believe that if this was truly China, we would see a massive defense posturing from the United States military and especially our Navy. We would have brought home all of our Navy boats and started to defend our homeland, but we haven't seen any indication of that or change in posture. We must stay focused on the orbs no matter what. That is the key for freeing all of us from this fabricated reality that we live in. Anti-gravitic propulsion systems, what are they and how do they work? Bob Lazar, the famous scientist that worked at Area S4, was telling us since the 80s that we have reverse engineered NHI craft to develop anti-gravity technology. Basically, how anti-gravity works, according to Bob Lazar, is that there is an element called element 115 that is essentially a very specifically machined piece of metal that is very rare that goes into a semisphere that essentially drips into a gas chamber and decays immediately and turns into antimatter that completely annihilates in a perfect transfer of energy that causes perfect electrical production. Then there are these gravity emitters that essentially warp space-time around the craft in sort of a heart formation. And if you were looking at it from above, it would look like a donut. And at max power, this craft is unseen because it is literally bending space around it, similar to how a black hole does. And that's why we are able to see behind a black hole. This allows the craft to essentially travel anywhere instantaneously. Bob Lazar also talks about Project Looking Glass, which was a project from the United States Air Force, one of which my videos actually go into great detail explaining some of these projects, especially Project Looking Glass. Unfortunately, it was taken down and censored. There is also Project Mockingbird, that is a CIA operation to control and manipulate the media and infiltrate these organizations to create a favorable outcome. Project Looking Glass essentially weaponized some of this technology, this anti-gravity technology, in order to manipulate space and time travel to create favorable future outcomes. Something that may tie into this is something called the Philadelphia experiment, where the USS Eldridge actually ended up disappearing or teleporting from a port to another port. And the crew on board essentially became discombobulated, disassociated, and some are even reported to have molded into the hull of the boat itself. This is using some of the technology that was derived from Project Looking Glass. Let's talk about these orbs. Recent reports show that there is a massive amount of orb sightings being seen all around the world right now. There are multiple legit orb sightings that are being seen all over the United States as well. Some of those states include Texas, Florida, California, and New Mexico. These orbs are in specific formations, typically seen as a triangle formation. Some orbs are also seen to be opening and closing from sphere to cube back to sphere. It is now being reported that some of these orbs are appearing or seemingly trying to communicate with people on the ground. These orbs are also giving people a sense of extreme peace or some sort of calmness when they do see them and try to communicate with them. Vivid dreams. In my last video that was taken down, I asked if anybody was having vivid dreams lately, because it's been reported that since the fog, people have been having extremely vivid dreams of some sort of apocalyptic or cataclysmic event. In my comment section, the census is that people are having the same repeating theme of dream, which is basically aliens, orbs, bad government actors, and massive bright explosions. Finally, the helicopter that has been seen circling my home in the last video that I posted. I did some digging and it appears that that helicopter happened to be a Forest Service helicopter doing some sort of surveillance work. I seriously hope that this video has helped you and quelled some of your fears. I genuinely believe that you are going to be okay. World War III is not going to happen and that everything is going to be okay. I do believe that we are going to have some sort of NHI disclosure. That's non-human intelligence disclosure of some sort early this year. Dr. Stephen Greer even mentions this. He says that in early 2025, this month, that there will be disclosure on a massive scale and that we need to all share it. Anyway, I hope all of you have a great night. Don't be scared. Obviously, Make sure that you are defending your family and that you are well armed and just well prepared in general. That's how everyone should be in the first place. Don't let these people scare you to death. You are going to be okay. Take a big deep breath. Everything will be okay. That's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.